Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here, and welcome again to another video. Now, 2025 comes with a lot of challenges for everyone, particularly collectible companies, toy makers, statue makers, die-cast makers, any company that is involved in collectibles and high-end collectibles. They are definitely facing a lot of challenges. We as collectors are facing a lot of challenges. But there are ways for companies, in my opinion, for them to still thrive in this economy, to survive, most importantly, and they have to follow them. They have to follow them close. So in this video, I want to give you the 5 things that I believe they should do in 2025 to make it through. So in the next couple of minutes, stay tuned. Number 1, improving or maintaining consumer satisfaction. It is important that you keep your customers, your consumers happy. That is the most important thing. Now, there's 2 ways that you can do this. Most importantly, you have to have better customer service. That's imperative. But also, you need to invest in social media. Now, let me explain this too, because there are 2 differences there. Consumer satisfaction, of course, in the aspect or in the side of customer service means that you have to logistically be available constantly for your customers. When the customers have needs, you have to be responsive when they send emails to you because they have inquiries about their pre-orders, or when they're buying something and something came broken and they need a replacement. You have to be right there answering those questions. When people need refunds, as long as they're following the policies, even if they're not following the policy but they want a refund, you have to be responsive. You have to answer the questions. You cannot let people hanging in there for days or weeks without a response. Some people wait months for a response. That is not good. That is not good customer service. That is very unethical too. If you cannot do it yourself, then you need to hire people to do it. There's a lot of ways people can do it. You don't have to have a full-time staff doing it. You can even hire some agencies that actually can do customer service for you. There's a lot of mechanisms. Even AI. I'm not as supportive of AI, but there's a lot of ways to do it. Social media is important. Social media is important. It means that you have to be available. You have to invest heavily on it. Some companies did it well last year. Prime One did it well. Sideshow Collectibles invest a lot. Companies are going out their way by investing. And sometimes back in the day, maybe 10 years ago, people wouldn't think about social media, having a YouTube channel or Instagram, all those things. They wouldn't consider that as important. But has become the lifeline for a lot of these companies to communicate. It's a way that you can tell people, this is what we're doing, this is what we're producing. The more responsive you are, live videos, live chats, all of those things really matter to consumers now. So yeah, companies need to invest in customer service and they need to invest in social media. That will improve consumer satisfaction. Number 2, and this is a very complicated one, but I think it's doable when you really look at it from the right perspective. Better pricing. Yes, better pricing. Sounds more like wishful thinking because everything has gone up. We have to be realistic with the situation of the world. The raw materials are more expensive. Manufacturing is more expensive. Transportation is more expensive. And there's no sight, at least for now, we don't know that that's going to change. Nothing really is telling us that it's going to change. You know, politicians can make promises. They can tell you all they want. If they cannot force the economy to change just from night to day. But companies can still maintain pricing by doing certain things. The most important one would be, and that goes back to the old motto that always works, is less is more. Less is more. We have upscale everything. Now it's everyone wants 1/3, and they come with multiple switch outs, and the bases are super huge, and they put a lot of light ups and all this ins and outs of things, and a lot of things that actually look pretty, but are unpractical. And the more you add into a piece, the more expensive it becomes, because now you have to manufacture the cost of so many things that ultimately collectors are not going to use. Light up features are cool and dandy, but when they add a lot more to the price tag, then definitely they are necessary. Multiple switch outs. When, back in the day, most companies didn't have switch outs, and when there was a switch out, it was like in this case, an exclusive thing. But there was no need for multiple switches. It was maybe one extra porter. That's about it. Nowadays, they come with 6, 7, 8, 10. It's just crazy. Of course, it's transferred to the consumer, and now things are too expensive. And what happened with collectors? They cannot They cannot buy that much. They're at some point, your limitations to say, that's it, I'm done, I'm out. This is too expensive, too rich for my blood. And that is another situation that is happening a lot. So if you want to keep consumers, customers, collectors buying, then you have to figure out a way to keep those prices low. Also, the logistics of things, you have to figure it out. You have to hire people that are always looking for the right pricing for shipments. Sometimes you're gonna have to kind of time your shipments at the, everything at the right time. So when you ship something, maybe you're shipping 2 products instead of 1 product. So there's a lot of things that you have to do on the logistics side, but you have to have the right agents, the right people that are actually getting the best pricing for you. So that is more internal. But yeah, there's so many things in order to keep that prices low. I'm not saying that just bring it down to what it was like 20 years ago. That's not gonna happen. But at least keep the prices in a way that is still presentable, manageable, and people are still buying because, hey, they still can afford it. Number 3, limiting edition sizes to onset demand. This also goes back a little bit with less is more. Creating a scarcity is not always bad. Of course, when you do a false sense of a scarcity, when you are doing things unethically, when you're saying, well, we have this amount and you forcing people in this small window of time to buy something, all of a sudden you release it after everybody just bought something to create pretty much that false sense of fear of missing out, FOMO, then that is unethical. But you can still reduce the sizes, the edition sizes, to a number that is more manageable. Companies that cannot be producing 2,000 pieces of something and expect everyone to be happy with it. The way you allow your collection to grow, it has to be a constant flow. It means that some things you buy, eventually you have to get rid of to give space for the new thing. And sometimes with the stuff that you sell, you're able to invest in the new thing. And nowadays, because there's so many pieces of the same thing, it's hard to sell it. You cannot sell it. You're going to lose. So there's a lot of stuff sitting there that is unsold. And what it does is people, first of all, they run out of space. They don't have the funds for the prices that are so crazy nowadays. So ultimately, a lot of people quit and a lot of things are sitting there that you're never going to sell. If you cannot keep your customers happy, you cannot keep that natural flow of things, then unfortunately it's going to affect the whole system. And you're gonna have more inventory to sell that you're not selling, and you're gonna create this idea as, now we have something appear in the warehouse, and now we're selling in second option or whatever. And it's just a lie. You have too much. The way you maintain that line into what's profitable and what is not, it's a difficult dance that sometimes you gotta do, but you have to do it, and that will keep consumers happy, people buying because they're able to also get rid of some stuff, older stuff, and be able to sponsor new stuff. Number 4, expanding the catalog to increase sales and consumer engagement. This is a very important thing for sure. The problem that we have in I would say the last 10 years is that we have seen that companies are producing the same character over and over, and they still do. How many Harley Quinns we are looking at? How many Wolverine statues? The same character over and over, rehashed time and time again. And big companies are doing it, and small companies also doing it. Everyone is producing the same. How many Superman statues? How many Batman statues? So companies, they really need to explore, expand the catalog, going into other characters. And that really, first and foremost, excites people. It excites people when there's something that it hasn't been produced, there's something that is new. People are engaged. They're not losing interest, and they're going to be investing money into those things. For example, we saw 12 Days of Sideshow. There are a couple of things that were very new is coming. Some things are a surprise, and to be honest, those are the things that engage people. The things that are a surprise, but there are only a few things. Everything else is just the same thing, same old, and it doesn't excite people. And the likelihood of people buying is less and less. The more you produce the same character over and over, the chances for people to buy that product are lesser. If people are not excited from the get-go, from the first moment they see something, believe me, they're not going to purchase anything. For example, Bowen Designs did back in the day. Bowen released a lot of things, sometimes Iron Man, Captain America, tons of them. But in between, there was a lot of these more obscure characters, and people were engaged. They were engaged because you are building collections. Companies need to do that. Sideshow needs to do a better job at that too. And every company needs to do a better job at doing that. When you increase your catalog, when you offer more and more, people are in for it. They're gonna go in all the way in. Iron Studios have done it. You know, I can see now PCS doing it also with their 1/10 scale Marvel line, Marvel vs. Capcom line. These things are engaging people. People want to start something, they want to see it through, they want to see all the characters. The same happened with action figures, where the company starts something, they want to see it through till the end. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with the NECA, people still buying stuff, the cartoon stuff. Why? Because it's something new. There are a lot of new things. They're not rehashing the same thing over and over. You have to do it that way. And number 5, utilizing reward systems to motivate and recognize repeat customers. Your repeat customers are the ones who are keeping you in business. They are the ones who are constantly coming back time and time again to put money down so you can continue with your enterprise. If you don't reward them for that faithfulness over the years, then you're definitely gonna face the consequences. People want to be recognized. I think everyone wants to be recognized because of the effort. You know, it's an effort for consumers to put their hard-earned money into something that you sell. Sometimes you see these companies engaging with certain social media figures, people who are in social media, big collectors, they have YouTube channels, all of that, which is good. I'm not against it. But they seem to recognize them more than they do the customers that have been part of the hobby, that have been supporting from the get-go. They're the ones who have built these companies from the start, from years ago. You have to recognize each person. How you do it is you have to create systems where you give them points. Sideshow has always had that in place, which always work. People can use their points. A lot of companies, they have different clubs, you know, that are important, that you send them something to tell them, to thank them, whether it's an email just to congratulate them from their birthday, whatever it is, you know, a coupon for that, a coupon for this. It's a way to recognize your consumers, your customers that have been faithful to you, have built your company. When you don't recognize the people who have kept you in business, then consumers, they feel left out and they stop having interest. They don't show interest anymore. And ultimately they move to other places where they feel that their value, their opinion is value, what they say is value, as a consumer is their value. It's important to value the people who have put you in business. If you are faithful to your consumers, they'll be faithful to you till the end. No matter the ups and downs of life and the economy, they will be understanding because they know that you have their best interests at heart. So these are the things, in my opinion, the 5 things that I believe are important for companies to thrive in 2025. Yes, there could be other things that companies can do, but I think all of those elements, all the things they can do, all are part of these 5 elements that really are the columns and are the pillars for a company to be successful. If companies don't do it that way, then definitely they don't follow these guidelines. I'm not saying my guidelines, but these guidelines are, I would say, universal. Then definitely they're going to face the consequences. So my friends, what do you think about these 5 points? Are you in agreement or in disagreement? Do you think there's something else that companies need to do? Let me know your opinion. Let me know what you think about the things that companies need to do in order to survive this year, 2025. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to respond to your thoughts. So my friends, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button so you're reminded of the next video. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The links are in the description. And please consider supporting the channel financially through Patreon. My friends, God bless. Take care. I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.